I think a lot of people believe THC is, one of those completely harmless substances, when in reality it has its consequences. People online, especially on social media, even myself, use justifications like THC is harmless compared to alcohol, or helps me sleep and my anxiety. Well, I kind of agree with these common excuses. People who smoke just to self-medicate are also the kinds of people who are most vulnerable to the problems. Thing is, if you smoke and you got no problems in your life, then I wish I was more like you. But for a lot of people, including myself, over time it clouds your judgment while slowly creeping into every aspect of your life. If you clicked on this video, then I'm guessing you need advice on how to quit or how to regulate your usage. If you want to know the best way to stop, then feel free to skip ahead. For many people at first, THC is magic. Senses feel refreshed, food tastes amazing, generally life feels more enjoyable. However, this is a trap for a whole host of people for a couple different reasons. At first for me, as the occasional smoke, I wouldn't say it didn't really bring that many problems for me, but over time the occasional smoke went to a weekly occurrence, to a daily occurrence, and then a nightly occurrence. The point where it's basically the whole day I would just sit around, it's just high all day. And it probably became much worse after buying carts. I mean, carts are insanely addictive compared to just smoking, as you can literally just hit that shit anywhere, and I mean anywhere, which is a massive problem. I mean, carts just make THC addiction way worse. Not only is it stronger, but because of the convenience, it makes it very hard to stop, altogether. So all the while it started to become more common and a strong part of my life. I started to live my life in a way where I could just hit the cart, sit around, play video games, basically do absolutely nothing productive. So after THC starts to lose its magic, it starts to become a bit of a medicine, per se. For me, it's my medicine for sleep and insomnia. Before beginning to change the habits in my life, I find it very hard to sleep at night, mainly just due to high levels of stress and looping thoughts. But because of after a stressful day of events, it's very hard to suppress those emotions. All you're doing is just lying around with no sorts of stimulus. I know for a lot of people use THC in this aspect of their life, a way to sort of self-medicate the anxiety while making it easier to sleep at night, which at first sure is amazing, but comes with its own problems. I mean, for one, it becomes a nightly ritual. So when you decide to quit or reduce your consumption, it'd be very hard to sleep without it. While it helps getting to sleep faster, I mean, it causes poorer REM sleep, overall causes worse sleep quality, causing a whole host of problems over time, such as cognitive decline, impaired memory, reduced concentration. When you're hitting the car all day, when you're smoking, it's really hard to manage your own emotions, which over time actually makes sort of addiction even worse. So after it goes from magic to medicine, it starts to become a bit of a crutch. And I can attest to this, especially when I go a day without vaping. It'd just be a horrible day. I mean, to the point where basically to function as a normal person, I need to rip the cart, which created a massive dependence. And not only was it a problem this way, but also as a problem in my wallet. But I mean, I probably spent over 300 quid just on carts alone, which is money I probably could have used in other areas of my life. Here's another problem with THC in my experience. When I rip the cart all day, especially in the morning, you lose all drive to do anything productive. Slowly but surely you sink sort of deeper into your own comfort zone. And for me, staying in my comfort zone, doing easy things that required no challenge. I mean, if you got your life figured out and your goals met, then you may not even have this issue, but especially when you're young, it's important to do, uncomfortable things and seek out new experiences. The thing is, when you're smoking every day, your new comfort zone becomes your new normal. And over time, it just leads to, I would say, more discontentment for life. And for me, it just made my anxiety way worse. I mean, when you're not faded, life just hits you in the face and just reminds you of all the shit you need to do. Especially if you're young, when you're smoking a lot. I mean, stress management becomes extremely difficult. Even the smallest situations can be very hard to bear. I mean, in my peak usage, I just kind of isolate myself a lot, and that was the easier thing to do. Which combined with lots of social media use makes you believe the whole world is ending and it's a horrible place. When in reality, horrible things happen all the time. It really just sucks the drive out of you when high stress from use makes you believe there's no point in anything. Overall, for me, THC. When I used to smoke a lot, I used to make the absolute worst version of myself. Lazy, unmotivated, low drive, poor social interactions. So if any of this sounds like you, maybe the time to stop altogether. Even when smoking occasionally for me, I would just get loads of brain fog, overall poor mental clarity. So it's up to you if you want to quit fully, but it depends to every person. I want you to stop and think for just a second. How much does this smoking control me? How often do you smoke? Does this make the worst version of myself? Am I stuck in my comfort zone? These are things you should be asking yourself before deciding to quit. After asking yourself these questions, the best thing I can offer, which helped me massively, a strong reason which can remind you to help your will, can allow you to carry on even when cravings get really strong. For me, the biggest motivator was reminding myself the reason why I wanted to quit. You sort of allow myself to grow instead of staying as a stagnant person. And once you have a really powerful reason to keep coming back to, overall it makes stopping so much more easier. Once you stop, you will experience a lot of negative symptoms, but don't let that discourage you. And if you smoke for a long time, expect this to be way worse. Just keep reminding yourself that it's essentially just your body recalibrating itself and regulating your own systems. The biggest tip I can give to you to help stop is to replace your old habit with a new one. Maybe you just smoke to fill in all the blank spaces in your life where you couldn't find anything alternate to do. So now is literally the best time to replace something. Just try anything, something new. For me, the best change I made was consistently going to the gym, even just going for an occasional jog. For me, after doing these things over time, I gained more confidence, less anxiety, and overall better image about my life in general. Once you quit, slowly start working towards your life purposes. It will be difficult, I know, but when you start making very, very small steps, it slowly becomes easier and easier to get outside your comfort zone. Once you begin to realize that you can make happiness in your life without relying on a substance, trust me, you'll see how much that shit was just weighing you down, stopping you from living for an unrealized life. Nothing is sadder than a life not lived to its absolute potential. Just keep reminding yourself, this is how you will soar above what you once thought was possible. If you enjoyed this video, I would really, really appreciate it if you subscribed and liked this video. I plan to make similar videos to this one. I was also considering making a quitting timeline video next, so if you'd be interested, make sure to stay tuned for the next one.